All right, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the best PC settings for Destiny 2. This is going to be whether you are a brand new player, you've never played before, and you saw that, hey, the game's free now on Steam, and you picked it up and you're looking to find the best settings for, a new player, or if you're someone like myself that was originally on console and now that we can enable cross save, you wanted to hop on over to PC to get those better frames and just better graphics in general. And now you're playing on a keyboard and mouse and you're looking for the best kind of starter that can also take you into advanced settings. But before we actually get started with the video, just real quick, I want to say that if you guys are new around here, make sure you do go ahead and subscribe. I do post Destiny 2 content. Sorry for not actually posting for about a week. I recently got a puppy. He's a golden retriever. He's been a lot of work. Also been having internet issues, but they are finally resolved. So we should be back up and running. Just wanted to say I'm sorry for that. But you guys can expect more Destiny 2 tips, tricks, settings. I'm thinking about also doing like Xur videos as soon as he comes out, because I normally am up whenever he actually comes around on Friday through Tuesday. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and actually get into these settings. So starting us off, I just want to go ahead and say that this is under the assumption that you do have a gaming mouse, aka a mouse that at least has two side buttons. So you have your left click, your right click, scroll wheel, click, and then at least two side buttons. That's all you need, at least two. And then this should be the perfect video for you, especially like I said, if you are a beginner. So let's actually go ahead and get into our settings. So starting us off with the mouse kind of sensitivity settings. First up, I just want to go ahead and say that I am running an 800 DPI setting on my mouse, just if you guys are wondering. Now getting into the actual in-game sensitivity settings. First off, we have look sensitivity. This is going to be set at 10. I believe it was a little bit higher when I first started, but I went ahead and turned it down. I just really didn't like how fast it really felt. I found 10 to be a really good, just solid starter, or just a good like medium, not too slow, not too fast, right in the middle. Next up, we have ADS sensitivity modifier. I keep this on a 1.0. I just like the way it feels. Then vertical inversion. This is actually not inverted, and it will come not inverted by default. Horizontal inversion, same thing as the previous one. I keep this not inverted, and it does come like this by default. Now aim smoothing, I don't know anyone that likes this, so turn it off unless you just really like it. So now getting onto video settings, I actually made an entire dedicated video on this if you guys want to check it out. There are a lot of settings in here that literally make no difference, except it just puts more strain on your computer and you actually don't get any sort of video or graphical improvement. So that will be at the top right hand screen. You can click it or you can touch it if you're on your smartphone or whatever, your iPhone. Now next up, we have sound. Sound is one of those things where it's completely up to you. And I know the Destiny music can get really loud. That's really the only thing I've touched. But just going over all of them, I have my SFX volume at 8. I have my dialogue/cinematics volume at 8. I have my music volume at 2. That Destiny music can get annoying unless I'm just really feeling nostalgic and I just want to throw it up. But besides that, I keep it at 2. Chat volume at a 5. Mute when not focused. I actually just put not muted, and that's on by default. Voice chat. Now this is a big one, especially when it comes to push to talk, but voice chat I actually do have on. Push to talk, guys, if you all are in the Destiny 2 LFG, or if you guys are just playing and you guys are in voice chat, please have push to talk on, especially if you are coming from console. I know on console there's no such thing as a push to talk. On PC, no one wants to just hear the background of like all your dogs and your kids or your family just going on in the background. Just turn on push to talk. If someone says your name, then you just simply press a button, which I will be showing in the key mapping at the end, and then you can talk. And then when you're done talking, just let go of the button. I thought I'd just throw that in there real quick, as I've ran into a lot of people that are in game chat and they don't have this on, and you can literally hear their grandmother's uncle's dad arguing with their dog's puppy. It's something really weird, but like I said, please just turn this on for the sake of all of us. Now, team voice channel, I actually manually opt in. So if I actually don't want to opt in, then I won't. So I'll actually have to put in the chat that I actually want to opt in. So now getting on to Reticle Color, and this is something that us console folks didn't have, or anyone that's switching from console. So you may see this and be like, what is this? This is pretty much, you can just change the color of your reticle. I put mine on like this kind of pinkish purple. Now I think yellow would work good. Red would, honestly, I think all these colors would work good. I mean, black would probably be, okay. Like, unless you're just super edgy and you just want to go with white or black, but These middle colors here, these are going to be very noticeable. It's really just to help you out, because sometimes, you know, when you're moving really quickly, especially on a keyboard and mouse, your reticle can kind of get away from you. You might not be able to see it. So I put mine on the brightest color that I personally think is, which is like this pinkish color. Next up, helmet. A lot of people actually don't know this, and especially if you are a new Destiny 2 player, like brand new. If you're in the tower or the farm, you can actually take your helmet off and see your character's like actual face, the face you actually made before you actually started your journey. So if you actually turn this always on, then it'll be always on no matter where you're at. Now, if you say in off and non-combat zones, then like I said, in the tower or in the farm or just anywhere that there isn't any combat, that isn't like a planet that isn't Earth, then this will actually take your helmet off, because remember, we can't breathe in space now. So now next up, invite notifications. I have this on. That's just personal preference. If you have a lot of annoying friends, turn it off. FPS display, turn this on. I don't care what you say. I feel like everyone should know about around what FPS they're actually pushing. As you can see, I have mine on. I actually have mine capped at 144, and it's actually showing 144. So now next up, we have text chat. And of course, I do have text chat on. Profanity filter I have off, just because even though like the whole like star whenever someone uses profanity is funny, I'd much rather just see what word they're actually trying to put in. And sometimes the game thinks you're using profanity when you're not. Like for example, whenever I tried typing in the Tangled Shore, which is a POI in Destiny 2, as we all should know, it thought shore was like a curse word, and it like started out. So whatever, I just turn mine off. Auto hide I have on. Background opacity, I actually have this on medium. Whisper chat I do have on in case someone tries to whisper you. Team chat join manual, local chat join manual, and clan chat join is on automatic, just because I actually don't have too many people in my clan. By the way, if you guys do want to join my clan, the link will be in the description below. You guys can hop in there, join up. It is open. I don't really care who joins up. Now, getting on to the big one, key mapping. This is probably what all you all are here for. First things first, global, put your key binding storage on the account, because then if you switch computers, then it's not going to go away. It's still going to be on your account. And this should be on by default, like it says right here, default. Now, of course, move forward. I'm not going to go over this. I use WASD. Now, finisher and player highlight, I use V. Pretty much all of the keys that I don't need to be doing, or all the actions I don't need to be doing, I bind to keys that I can hit with my left thumb. Now, I do play games where I actually do have keys bound, so my left thumb hits them while ever I'm actually in action. But in this game, I don't really need that. So I go ahead and put finisher / player highlight on V. If you guys don't know what player highlight is, think of like inspecting a person without having to go to like the roster. You can just press V, it'll highlight the player, and then you can actually inspect them from there. Now, getting on emotes, I just use up, down, left, and right arrows. As I mean, I'm not going to be emoting while I'm, you know, in action, so I just put those kind of far off of my keyboard. Push to talk, like I said, please turn this on. I put mine on T just because, you know, talk T, so I just set it to there. Return to orbit and abort activity I have to O, as you know, if I'm rage quitting, I'm not going to be moving, so I don't really care to move my hand across my keyboard. Take a screenshot. I actually don't even know what that's bound to, just because I never actually use in-game screenshots. Now, character, of course, fire is my left click, reload is R. It's kind of self-explanatory. Now, this is where it's getting into, make sure you have a mouse with some side buttons. Melee, I have this on my top mouse side button. So I have two side buttons on my mouse. This one is the top one. Now, hold zoom. I actually like to hold zoom instead of toggling it. This is completely, you know, personal preference. But if you are coming from controller, you're used to holding down a button to aim in, and then whenever you stop holding it down, then you stop aiming in. I just kind of never got away from that, and I've just kept doing it on PC with keyboard and mouse. So I actually have hold zoom, and of course that is my right click. Now, toggle zoom, this is pretty much the same thing as the last one. It's just, as you can see here, it's actually not bound to anything because I don't use toggle zoom. What toggle zoom is where you click it and then you're always zoomed in until you click it again. I don't like that, just like I said, personal preference. Light attack and heavy attack, this is if you have a sword or a, you know, any sort of weapon that where you're in third person. So a sword is probably the best way to actually explain it. So whenever you're swiping the sword really fast, that is a light attack, and that is just my left click. And then my heavy attack is my right click. Now block, this is also if you have a sword. So blocking, B, it's super easy to hit with my thumb. Like I said, my left thumb, because B is at the bottom of your keyboard. And plus, if you're blocking, you're probably standing still blocking. Now jumping, of course, is space. That's kind of, you know, who doesn't use space? Not judging you if you don't. So now getting on to hold sprint, I actually don't have this bound, as I know on controller, you normally do hold something to keep sprinting. But here on PC, I just really got used to just toggling my sprint. So whenever I'm moving and I press my shift button with my left pinky, I will just start sprinting. And then if I slow down, then I just press it again. So super easy. Now hold crouch, I actually have this not bound as well. So I actually have toggle crouch bound, which, you know, these are the same things. Just, you know, one's holding a button and one is just you press a button and then you do it. And then you press the button again to undo it. So toggle crouch, I actually have bound to left control, which I also hit with my pinky. I hit my shift and my left control with my pinky as well. Now class ability, this is the other button, my second button on my mouse, my second side button. Whenever I do this, I use my class ability. So I play Warlock, so that would be my Rift. Super simple and super easy. Now air move. So I believe that there are some exotics in the game that, I mean, I know there are, or there's some things in the game where whenever you're in the air, you can actually like dash or move. I have this set to C. I've actually been kind of messing around with this, seeing what I like, but I really don't use too many things that allow me to air move. Like I don't use the Warlock subclass that allows me to. I don't use any sort of armor that allows me to. But I just have it bound to C for right now, just because I really don't use it that much, and I think C is a kind of a good option to use. Now next up we have interact. This is doing anything interacting with NPCs or, you know, certain items in the world. Chest. E, you know, basic interaction. I just like it. Grenade, I have this bound to Q, so I just reach my left ring finger up, hit Q, I throw a grenade. Simple as that. Now next up I have super. I actually have this bound to F. I believe it's F by default, and I just really liked it because in a few other games I play, I actually do use F quite a bit. So F here is a really good idea for me. If you do want to change this up, put this on your mouse, you know, not that big of a deal. As you all could probably notice, I have my two other abilities on my mouse. So, but this one I have on my actual keyboard, and I just use my index finger to press it. Now, next up we have switch to kinetic and then switch to energy. So if I want to switch to my kinetic, I just simply take my mouse wheel, scroll it up. And then if I want to switch to my energy, I take my mouse wheel and scroll it down. Now, as you guys can see here, you guys were probably expecting my power weapon to be on my mouse click. And here's the thing, I do that, but I've kind of been experimenting around with 4 or mouse click because I don't know, maybe it's just because I've only been playing on keyboard and mouse now for a few months, but hitting 1, 2, and 3 are kind of weird for me, and I have big hands. I think I'm just not used to it yet, but I found 4 to be like one of those things where I can always hit without looking. I never misclick it. And it's just super easy. So I think 4 or that mouse scroll wheel click is a fantastic option. Like I said, I'm actually gonna go ahead and change that right now. So yeah, that's changed. So now switch weapon, I never use this. I don't even know why that's on. I don't even know how to unbind stuff. So because I'm pretty sure you actually can't, like once you click on it, then you have to click something. So yeah, I just have this bound to whatever that is. Now next weapon and previous weapon, of course I have them both unbound. Vehicle, primary weapon fire is my left click, and then my secondary weapon fire is my E. My zoom on a vehicle is my right click, and then my boost, which is for my sparrow, which is the only thing I really use on vehicles because I'm never in like those Drake tanks or whatever they're called. I use my right click, I just hold it and it boosts. Braking, I don't really brake on a vehicle, but you know, it is there, so you can just press shift, super easy. And of course, if you want to exit the vehicle, you just press space. So now getting off from that, we have UI shortcuts. These don't really matter. As you can see, I'll have a lot of them like not bound at all. So if I actually want to pop up my chat, I normally just press enter, but if you just want to like show and hide the chat, you can just press L. Like I said, I'm not gonna be chatting while I'm in like a super like hectic zone, so it doesn't really matter if it's far away from my keyboard. Deploy or ghost, this does matter. I have this on tab, so I just kind of reach up, press tab. Open director, I actually have this on in, so this is kind of like your director. I used to have it set on M for map, just because, you know, M and map, they both, you know, M's, whatever. This is in now just because my left thumb can actually hit in better than M. I feel like I have to stretch to hit M. Now getting on to open director quests, I don't have this bound because I mean, if I'm opening my director within, then you know, there's really no point for me to have quests there as well. Roster, I don't even know how that's bound. It doesn't matter. Like none of these matter, or at least none of these director ones matter, because fun fact, you can also open your director by just holding tab. So there's that. So holding tab does it, and so does pulling out your ghost. You can both get to your director through that. So roster is you, but I always just, like I said, open my director and I just go to roster. Seasons not bound, clans not bound, collectibles not bound, triumphs not bound. Character is I, but I actually use F1 to open up my character's like inventory. I guess I could use I, but I just got used to F1. It's not that far away from my top row of number keys, so whatever. And then inventory not bound, settings not bound. So yeah, those are pretty much all of my settings. And like I said, the video one, if you guys do want to know more about it, there will be a link. It will be the first link in the top of the description. You guys can check it out, as I give some really good settings and people are really seeming to enjoy that. But yeah, with that out of the way, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys have any sort of binds that are different from mine and you think that would really help out new players, say you are a new player and you think you have found the holy grail of keybinds that you think other new players should use, put it in the comments. And if I do like it and it is something super viable, I will pin it, just because why not? So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.